Hey guys, welcome to my review of Batman Detective Comics issue number 10. Now before I get on to my review, I would like to mention to you guys that I did pick up Avengers vs. X-Men issue number 5 this week, and I do have a code for that digital copy. Now if you want that code, please let me know on the comment section below. Remember, it's first come, first serve, and I apologize to the people who aren't able to get it. So yeah, it's first come, first serve. If you want the code, just let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, so let's get on to the review of Batman Detective Comics issue number 10. In the last issues of Detective Comics, in the last issues, the last two issues sort of were filler issues because they really didn't have any storylines connected to one another. Because in issue number 8, it just dealt with the Scarecrow. It's just one storyline that dealt with the Scarecrow, and issue number 9 actually just dealt with the Night of Owls event, which was pretty good. So those two issues were pretty good as a standalone issue, even though they had no continuing storyline whatsoever. It was still good because so far Detective Comics hasn't been doing so good ever since it started on the New 52 startup. So let's see how it's really going to do now, since we're going to have a continuing storyline starting with issue number 10. So in issue number 10, we open up with two Gotham police officers, I guess you can say, or security guards, and basically they're transporting this sort of package. But then they're actually stopped by a group of Batmen. Not Batman, but a group of Batmen. These people dressed in Batman costumes. No, they are not wearing hockey pads, which is a good thing. They're actually wearing full-length or full-body Batman suits. They're not hockey pads or anything. They're not wearing plastic or fake cowls. This is real Batman suits right here. And actually, they're carrying guns. But they start firing at these security guards and police officers, and they actually take this mysterious package. And as Commissioner Gordon and all the other police officers are coming along, one of them actually stays behind. One of the fake Batmens actually stays behind and covers them while they escape into the sewers. Now, while this is all happening, Bruce actually visits Charlotte. If you guys don't know who Charlotte is, she appeared in a couple of issues in Detective Comics, and basically she is Bruce's love interest in this whole entire storyline. But we find out that Charlotte wants to leave Gotham City for a while to, I guess, collect her thoughts, start a new life. So she decides to actually move to Paris and leave Bruce all alone. She feels bad about this, but she wants to start a new life, and I guess when she means by starting a new life, she has to cut off Bruce. And like I said about this, relationship, I didn't really care about this relationship whatsoever. It was just blah. I just felt like it was just thrown in. So yeah, I feel bad that Charlotte's leaving, but I feel like, okay, we're done with this. Okay, let's move on to some newer things. And as this whole entire fake Batman shootouts going on against the Gotham Police Department and Commissioner Gordon, actually Bruce Wayne actually sees this, so he of course leaves Charlotte at the hospital, and of course dresses up as Batman. He puts on his bat suit and goes out and tries to stop them. He finds them in the sewer, and he actually takes all of them out. But actually one of them escapes with the suitcase and actually suicides. And then we see the villain, or the new villain in this storyline. His name is called Mr. Toxic. Now, Mr. Toxic already made his first appearance in Detective Comics in the last couple of issues. He appeared as one of the new villains that are actually working with the Penguin to actually keep their funds safe in the Iceberg Lounge is safe for the Penguin. So yeah, Mr. Toxic made his first appearance in the last couple of issues, not in this issue, just to let you guys know. But he's the main villain of this storyline for now. And actually, after Mr. Toxic actually picks up the suitcase or the package that the Batmans were carrying, he escapes with it, and Batman has to go back and try to figure out what's going on. Commissioner Gordon gives him a briefing of what's going on or who these people are, and basically he gives him a thumb drive of information, and Batman has to basically go over this information and figure out what's going on here and who's up or behind this. He finds out that it's basically has to do with this company called H&M. Yes, H&M, which sort of reminds me of the clothing store H&M. So I was like, what? H&M is a clothing store. How does this have to deal with Batman? But I was like, okay, this is actually a company that's working with Wayne Industries, or it's actually in Wayne Industries. And basically Batman goes over there and see what's going on, and he actually is greeted by Mr. Toxic, and that's how the issue ends. Okay, so my thoughts on this issue. Now, I actually did enjoy this issue. I mean, the storyline is better. The writing has gotten better. Like I mentioned that in issue number 8 and issue number 9, those are standalone great issues already on its own. And I'm glad that this issue, the writing has gotten better, because in the last couple of issues, like I said, the beginning of Detective Comics wasn't doing so great. The storyline for that series sort of dropped down, and I felt the writing for that was just bland, and there was just too many things thrown in. But here they're focusing on one villain. The Batmans were actually pretty interesting. I actually sort of liked it, because this isn't the first time we actually seen, you know, Batman attack, you know, civilians or done evil deeds, because in the past you know, Batman series, there have been actually fake Batman, did I say Batman or Batmen, you know, actually terrorizing Gotham City, or Batmen's are trying to, you know, become Batman, so, you know, Gotham doesn't have to worry if Batman died or anything like that. But yeah, so it's great to incorporate that. I actually did like that, and I thought the storyline was generally good, because we have Mr. Toxic now. Now, I was wondering, are they actually going to focus more on these new villains they introduced in the later, like, the past series of, or the past comic books of Detective Comics? I wonder if they're actually going to, you know, focus on them. And actually they are. Mr. Toxic seems to be a villain to actually be a force to be reckoned with, because he's able to, I guess you can say, emit radiation, and he can actually melt you. So he could be a formidable foe for Batman, unless he finds a way to defeat him, because he's basically all toxic and radiation. So he can just melt Batman with, you know, with some fumes, and that's it. But we'll see how it goes. I'm really interested to see how it actually going on. And actually the detective work, I have to mention that. Like I said, the detective work in the past couple issues wasn't so great. The detective, detective parts of Detective Comics is supposed to be really great, you know, because it's called Detective Comics for a reason. And I found this time around, when Batman was actually researching on what's going on about the Batman, who these people are, who this new villain is, or who possibly is all behind this whole big gigantic mess, was really interesting. And I found that it was, you know, good, generally good, not great, but good, you know. So I said, writing's good. Artwork is decent. The fighting scenes between the Batman was good. I actually like that. There's nothing really I didn't like about it, besides the Two-Face story arc. I'm sorry. There's a, you know, Two-Face side story here, and I really don't care much for it. I mean, the first time it came out in Detective Comics, I actually did take a read on it, but after a while, I didn't really care much about it, so yeah, I can't really say much about a Two-Face storyline if you guys are wondering about that, but yeah, this is all in all a good issue. If you guys have been wondering, should I pick up the Detective Comics for the new storyline, I would say yeah, try it out, pick it up and see how it's going out. If I were to give a rating, and I do not like to give ratings on comic books because, you know, I don't know how to rate things, or I don't know, maybe my ratings could be off. I can say this, I would say if I would rate this out of a 5, I would actually give it a 3.5. Actually, a 3.5 is a good issue. A 3.5 isn't good enough for me. I think that's good enough for this issue, 3.5, because if I gave it a 4, that would be asking a bit too much. But a 3.5 to me actually does stand up to this issue. It's pretty good, artwork's good, storyline's good, detective work is good, fight scenes are good. It's a really good issue. So yeah, I would suggest you guys pick this issue up. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this review helpful, and I'll see you guys later.